Well, welcome guys to another awesome Bitcoin Thursday meetup. Do we even have a name for this?
Thursday meetup. How about that?
Thursday meetup. Welcome back for another Thursday meetup. We see some familiar faces from last week. Thank you for coming on back. Today we have our special guest Holly Chance here, who will be talking to you about how you can turn your home equity into opportunity today, and one of these programs we have that the club offers you. And Nathan,
Yeah, guys, before we get started, obviously you would have to be living under a rock not to remember what the day is. We all know. We know where we were on 9/11, so give you guys a band. I mean, I had a friend of mine lost his wife in tower number 2, and just as I think back about it, me being prior military, I'd already gotten out of the military, but I mean, there was a surge of people. Didn't matter what your political beliefs were, your religious persuasions. We came together as a nation like I'd never seen us before. So just remember, people. I mean, it was pretty ironic what happened. Hope we never see anything like that again in our lifetime. So we gave you these little bands so we could remember, just for a brief moment, those times. So welcome again to our second. Is this the second or third night?
Second
Thursday night. Thank you so much. Fortunately, I see some used to be members here came back. Thank you for that, coming back and taking a second chance. We've got some members here that said, wow, finally we're starting to get together and organize this thing on a night get together. So we're hoping you guys will enjoy what we're doing. As I said, all we can do is tell you what we do. We're not going to ever tell you what to do. But when Holly explains what she does, she is a expert at what she does. So as we move forward, Holly, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, I've known you for my God, how many years? About 11 years. We met years ago. Her kids and my kids, plus the other kids, swam for a swim team here called Sarasota Sharks. It's actually the world known team. They send somebody to the Olympics about at least every other year, if not every year. That was a time in my life where, let's see, you would get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, drop your kids off, they go swimming. You pick them back up, they go to school, and then at 3:30 you take them back, and they swam to 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And it happened 5 days a week, and you did quite a bit on Sunday. So it was something, guys. In fact, I became a swim official so that I could be on the deck because I was going to be there anyhow. So that's how we met. And when we started looking at programs we wanted to offer through the club, one of the first things was, as we'll go through, is why you need to be looking as your home as an asset. But guys, it's only an asset if you do something with it. And if you've been around this business as long as I have, you understand the ebbs and flows of real estate and why you might want to consider some things we're going to talk about tonight. So,
yeah, let me share the screen for the people online. All right, share. Okay, so again, welcome to Bitcoin Thursdays. Next up, just a little disclaimer, guys. This information provided is only for the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club members only, not for members of Substack, Patreon, VC1, VC2, Founders Club, Private Key Capital, or CALIX Solutions. For informational purposes only, this is not legal, tax, or financial advice. Always consult with a qualified professional. And even though this is for information from Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club, we always want to keep our members safe out there. And I know we mentioned, and just seeing CALIX Solutions right there, just want to put a warning out there that which really just happened now. There's a scammer going out there placing a phone call to CALIX Solutions members out there pretending to be Patrick. So if you're getting a call from them, it's a scammer. No one's ever going to call you to say that your computer needs to be updated or do this. If someone's pretending to be Patrick or any one of the team from CALIX Solutions, they're a scam. They're not going to reach out to you. They only contact you if you reached out to them first. So just be aware that there is somebody calling out there. And I believe that phone number out there is 702-845-8276. So if you see a phone call from that number, it's a scam. Don't answer it. Just block it. So let's continue on, though.
With I think they need to know why. I think they need to know exactly what happened today. Not our fault, but it was the lady's fault. And kind of walk them through this because, guys, as we go through this, there's going to be more opportunities to be scammed. We will never call you from this club. None of the people that have, if you got a Coinbase wallet, Exodus wallet, it doesn't matter the wallet. You're never going to get a phone call from these guys. If you ever get a phone call from anybody and they represent crypto, 99.99% it's going to be a scam. because nobody's going to call you.
I'm not going to call you. Nathan's not going to call you. The Crypto Club is sending ads out there, but we're not going to call you to tell you your wallet's hacked or anything like that.
And neither will Coinbase, neither will Kraken, neither will these. Nobody will call you to tell you this. It will never be a call, guys. Never. So, but I won't, again, what was the cost by this lady not being diligent in security?
With security. So she just actually, so yeah, we heard like this morning, this literally happens today. Just got the forewarning email that they sent to all the other CALIX people out there. But no, someone was calling her pretending to be CALIX, and she believed them. They said their computer needs to be upgraded, and she gave them full access, remote access to a computer, and then they were asking for passwords to their Exodus wallet. And then before you know it, she lost, I hate throwing numbers out there, 3 whole Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So security is very important, and we need to be on high alert, pay attention to what these scams look like so we do not fall for them.
Plus, this is another reason why you need to be a member of a club or a congregation of people so you'll be free to talk about this stuff.
Exactly, because when you're a member, if you like feel like something's off or odd, don't rush into like whatever the other line's saying. Actually, just it's better to do nothing than actually click on a link or follow instructions. Just hang up or go, hey, give me one moment really fast. I'll call you back if it's legit. But it's just like to say, hang on. As long as you remember, give us a call here at the club and we can let you know if that's real or a scam, because we can get a quick heads up and going, no, they wouldn't call you at all. So I'm pretty sure that's a scam. So we can probably protect you from being scammed in this situation. So unfortunately, this lady did not follow those rules and ended up getting scammed.
I hate to put you on the spot, but they need to know the severity of what can happen just by not being diligent. Security.
You can lose it all. We work very hard for our money, and again, I don't like seeing people getting scammed or doing any of that. So again, the importance is like you got to take full responsibility of your finances when it comes to crypto. There's no more middleman anymore that can pull a transaction back like the banks anymore. You are fully responsible for this. Everything that happens on the blockchain is permanent. So this is why you want to be diligent and then actually know what you're doing. If you're not sure what you're doing, we can help aid in educating you on how to do it. But if you feel like you can't do it, I would recommend don't do it unless like you're with us or someone who can actually help you out.
Yeah, just guys, don't be lazy mentally. Just don't be lazy. No matter what your age. I'm 65 my next birthday. I can't afford to be lazy. Just can't do it. If I'm going to do this and be in this marketplace, I have to be in the marketplace, not leave it up to everybody. All right.
All right. So why should you become a member of the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club? Well, top 5 reasons. We have a community and a great place to network. And I can see this community right now. It's pretty awesome right now to hang out, gather, network, talk about crypto or Bitcoin. Because out in that real world, people aren't talking about it still. Some people out there still think it's a Ponzi scheme. It's controlled by the big guys, like it's going to go down. But no, it's not. So this is a place you have to actually be able to come, congregate, network with like-minded individuals and just have conversations.
And I know you and I have had a discussion about when you get out there in your realm of world and people ask you what you're doing and you start talking about the process of home to hodl, they love it. And then when she mentions the word crypto or Bitcoin, they're like, what? So you think because we're around the like-minded people know about this or trust this or believe in this, they don't. We're still, and I hate to say this, we're still early in this, very early in what we're doing. Education insights goes without saying. We have some tremendous education. The insights would be, we're never going to call you, ask you for your passwords. That's the insight. Local and global impact, it is up to us, guys, as we start this movement and adopt this movement and move forward, it's up to us to spread the word, spread the truth, and give people opportunity. It's not up to us to make them believe, but just give them the opportunity to see what we do. If they don't like it, just kick the dust off your feet and go to the next person. There's just so many opportunities out here. Fun and empowerment. I mean, the empowerment is you get in here, you learn things, and you're empowered to move forward with this new world of crypto. I started 2.5 years ago with you guys in terms of a member, and I'm even proud of myself, some of the things I'm able to do, which I never thought I was going to be able to do. Are you proud of me?
I am, but you still need me last night. Boy, Paul, this isn't working. Oh, you misspelled one of those words in your seed phrase. But that's why we're here to help you out.
And exclusive opportunities. I mean, there's going to be opportunities as you come in this club and you become you stay an active member of things that you're going to be exposed to. Again, we're not going to advise you to do anything. We're just going to expose you to these opportunities. You make your own choice. And one of these exclusive opportunities, as I said, for active members, can be found at bbcprograms.com, and we will be adding to those more and more. And we're not here to talk about Bitcoin per se, or Bitcoin Ben per se, but we had to do that little bit of advertisement. All right. So one of the programs that we see a great need for is, so if you look at my history especially in the real estate world, I was part of that whole debacle. When I say debacle, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, right place, right time, put my head down, and within 4.5 years, I had accumulated 250 rental homes in North Carolina. I had a little gig going. I was traveling around the country, and I had a little thing going. I taught people, and I think the title of the seminar was called "Tenants, Toilets, and Trash." It was teaching people how to get involved in real estate as rentals, and really low to medium income rentals, Section 8 rentals and stuff like that. It's a whole nother story. But I went through my life there, and what you guys want to realize is I was less than 40% loan to value on everything I owned in 2006. And all of a sudden it was a snowball effect. I had no clue. Who in here believes that if you pay your mortgage on time, you're never late, you pay your taxes on time? Who believes you can have your loans called? Do you know that's possible? I didn't know it was possible. But in 2006, I got a letter from that time at SunTrust and says, we are calling a class of loans on 20 of your homes. I had no clue what that meant. What does that mean? I called my banker. He says, you got 90 days to cure these loans. I said, what do you mean cure the loans? We need you to below 20% loan to value. I said, have you lost your mind? Of course, I probably had a few more words in there, but when I said it to him, I didn't realize at the time the commercial loans I had signed within that loan, it says they can't call me and out personally, but if they call a class of loans within the state, they call all the loans. And that's what happened. SunTrust being down here, that was the end. There's things I could have done at the time. I could have and should have filed a corporate bankruptcy. I didn't do it. Looking back, I should have done it. But what I began to see the equity I had of no fault of my own begin to suck down by the banks. So as we say that, we have Holly here. As I said, I met Holly 11, 12 years ago. You've been a mortgage broker for how long?
Since 1997.
Okay, so you know a little bit about the business. So when we started looking at this program, and the first person I thought about was you. I said, Holly, I called her, I said, we got this program. We want to start introducing people. And surprisingly, when I told her it had something to do with Bitcoin, she's like, oh, okay. Because of why? Why were you so acceptable of me saying, when I come in here, I didn't realize you had been involved in crypto.
I was previously.
Yeah, so
I was had a little awareness with it in success. But
so you didn't look at me like, have you lost your mind? You was like, oh yeah, I know about crypto. I was like, what? So
yeah,
we quickly ramped up. We quickly put a program together. So thank you for being here. So if you look at this chart, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but over here it's 2000. The red line represents the actual value or actual what's owed on a home. And the blue line is actually the equity in the homes. So the line was pretty good until about 2012, and the equity began to shoot up. So right now in this country, we're at an all-time high for equity available in homes. It's incredible. I mean, when I moved down here in 2010, 2011, didn't know anybody. I was at a general contractor business. I started working down here for a investor, and I literally, it's not something I read in the book, I was there. He was buying homes on Canal at Siesta Key for $195,000. So I watched that, but also I watched that same home. He bought a bunch of them that he paid $200,000 for within just a few years, have an equity or have value in it of $2 million. It's just wild. So this is what this represents. Here's what I can promise you as we move forward. The banks are going to, somewhere in the near short future, they're going to want to limit their exposure in that home. Does that mean your home's value is any less? No. But the banks are going to start sucking down the equity that is available to you. So my thesis behind this, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. Money's not that expensive. It is a little more expensive than it was 2 years ago. But I've told people that I know, pull your equity down, get it out of there. This was 2 years ago. I was telling people. How little did I know where I would be saying, here's a possibility of deploying it to. So this thing that we're going to talk about tonight is the mortgages. So if you will, and we're going to do some Q&A, obviously. What is some of the things you're asking? I'm sorry. Introduce yourself, Holly.
I'm Holly. I grew up in Wisconsin and I have a Bachelor of Arts degree, double major of education. So I really enjoy teaching. However, I don't enjoy working 2 jobs and 24/7. So I got out of education and into mortgages in '97. And I've been through a lot of ups and downs, and I really enjoy the business and the industry because it's a different person, a different home, they have a different life and different employment history, and all of that is interesting to me, and I like people. Yep. So that's my passion, and I like to help people. So it's kind of like the perfect fit for a profession for me. But
so what are some of the things, most common things that you look for when you start talking to people about their mortgages? I mean, I know.
So if I talk to somebody about home to hodl or just a mortgage in general, I usually just cover the first 3 most important things in lending, which is your credit, your capacity to pay it back, and your credit capacity to pay it back, and your the amount of equity you have in your home. So.
And the thing fascinating to me when we started this, I never believed we would get back to where we were in terms of the ability to borrow money insanely, but we're back there again, correct, in some fashion, in terms of people that are not, obviously they're not totally qualified, but.
No, we wouldn't say that. I think that because of technology, I think the amount of data that they have now is it's really wild, and the amount of information that they have to go behind all the mortgages that they've done in the past 6, 12, 18, 24 months. They study who makes their payments, who's late on their payments. And so that's how they adjust the programs to the new programs that come out. So we do have all kinds of different programs for your primary residence, your investment properties, whether you want to refinance or purchase. I also do reverse mortgages for home to hodl as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a lot of data, and with the data is how they make adjustments for the loan programs.
I know we got somebody in here right now that talked to me the other night about a reverse mortgage. So they'd be interested to talk to you about that, I'm sure. So we've got folks I've talked to here tonight that have properties they have completely paid for. And there's people in here who have got properties that have a bunch of equity in it. So each person is going to have their own nuances as to what they're going to be able to do with it. Again, we're not telling you to borrow money and buy this asset called Bitcoin. We can't say that. What I can tell you is if you believe Bitcoin is going to continue to rise, and by the way, Bitcoin is the only asset in history that's ever gone up 50% a year continually since the inception. Do I think it's going to go up 50% a year? I don't know, guys, but it has done that. You know what? If it doesn't go up but half that amount, you're still going to be way ahead of the game. This thing we saw with Bitcoin was it was an asset. It was a potential asset to sit there, and you were doing nothing with it. So the only way you could make money off of Bitcoin at one time was in the rise or fall of the value of the Bitcoin. These programs that are available to you right now is let's just say you could borrow, I don't know, say you borrow $100,000 off the top of your head. What's a mortgage payment on $100,000? About.
It depends on-
Okay, give me a rate. Come on, play with me. Okay, give me a rate to term. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Give me something. Okay, $600 a month. If you buy Bitcoin right now, just call it, it's 114, I think, Dave. This says $100,000. If it goes up by 25% this year, what's the interest rate gonna be on that? 8%, 9%? It depends, but give me a number.
Speak a little louder. So the people online can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
Ollie.
Ollie?
Try.
Trying.
If the interest rate, let's say was 6%,
Well, that's the thing, is people always ask me those questions. What's the interest rate? You know, and I have no idea. I can tell you 6%, but that doesn't mean that's what you're going to qualify for, because everybody has different amount of equity, which means you're going to get a different loan to value than the next person. So maybe you have your house paid off free and clear. You only want, half of the equity. That's 50% loan to value. So somebody that's borrowing money against their house, then they're at 90% loan to value. That's a higher risk for the bank. Everything is determined off risk in lending. So the rate will be higher for a 90% loan. It doesn't mean you have bad credit or whatever, but the interest rate at 50% is better.
all right, let's try it this way.
Mhm.
What's the max somebody could be looking at with a pretty good credit, the max annualized percentage rate?
Maybe 8%.
Okay.
That would be the max, I would say
And
right
the
now.
low would be somewhere in what?
5.
Okay,
and a half.
5, let's just say, I'm gonna do better than this, let's say 5 to 10%.
Mhm.
Based off the appreciation and run up of Bitcoin. It's my belief that if you could borrow money at 10% and it increases, Bitcoin goes up by 25% a year, it doesn't take a lot of math to figure out that's probably a good opportunity for you to be involved in this. And again, we have to preface, we're not telling you what to do with your money. So if you feel comfortable, right now, does anybody have any questions about the whole process of lending and things like that with home? I know some of you have told me you had a home that had completely paid for. What do you want to do with it? I mean, this is kind of like class participation if you'd like to ask, and obviously Holly will be here to answer any questions for you afterwards available.
Right. I'm just going to say that, the reason why the rate is different for everyone is because there are about 10 different factors that go into determining your rate. Your credit score, your income, the loan to value, the type of program, the loan term. I mean, so there are a lot of different factors that determine your rate. So it's not just like today, the rate's 6.5. Everybody's like, oh, the rate's 6.5. No, it's not how it works, but it sounds good to people.
It does. It sounds good.
It sounds good.
All right, no questions yet? No. Any questions on, oh, there we go.
Yep. Wait for the mic. We got one coming to you.
That might come to you.
Okay, so you've got a loan to value. What happens if we come into another housing crash or however you want to?
I want to answer that.
Go ahead.
This is my opinion, okay? What I should have done back in 2005, 6, 7, 8, I should have borrowed every freaking dollar, excuse my French, I could have borrowed, because what I saw happen was the equity I had, if I could have borrowed maximum equity and the banks all of a sudden needed money, I saw it happen, guys. It's not something I read in the book. I saw people that had borrowed $1 million from the bank on a house. The value, the perceived value of the house plummeted like to $600,000. The bank said, hey, come in, I'll give you a discount on loan. I saw people discounting that $1 million to $500,000 just to give it to the bank, just to get out of it. The bank wanted the money back. They were scared to death. So personally, I would borrow every dollar I could right now because of what we're going through. So if the market crashes, somebody said to me the other day, I was talking, me being in the real estate business, well, Nathan, I buy this house and for $1 million and the value goes to $500,000. Is that bad? I said, wait a minute. Are you going to live in that house? Yes. How long? This is my forever home. Then why do you care? Why do you care if the value goes to $200? You don't care. You got to have a place to live. So you may have a different opinion on that, But I'm saying if you're going to live in a house and you're going to stay there, the fluctuation, the value of the house really is irrelevant to the point of what it is. You still got a payment on it. You still got to have some place to live. All I look at is that, like Bitcoin, it sits there, it's an asset, but it's a dormant asset until you decide to do something with it. So if you've got a home sitting out there, a piece of property that has equity in it, it's an asset, but it's a dormant asset that can't do anything with it, just sitting there. And the bank has the ability to literally value your home at a moment's notice and pull down that equity. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I really don't think that you have any control over that. You know, if your house is worth a fair market value today of 500 and then in 3 years it goes to 300. I mean, right now is how we determine the loan programs and the qualifications, and that's the market we're talking about today. So trying to predict the future is not my expertise or business, but I understand your concern. I always say to everybody, kind of the same thing. You know, go with what you're comfortable with. Don't ever put yourself out over, you know, where you're going to feel like I can't sleep and I'm stressed out, and just make sure that you're comfortable with your decisions and you have the ability to pay it back.
I have a kind of a different view on that, and I've learned when you owe the bank $500,000 on a house that's worth $200,000, it's gonna be hard to sleep. When you owe the bank $2 million on a $200,000 bank, the banker's not gonna be able to sleep. You follow me? We think we're not in control of this, but we really are. If you've got decent credit and ability to pay these loans back, you need to look at this asset and deploy it to make yourself money. Guys, I'm telling you right now, I do not believe there'll be another time in history that we ever see what we're seeing right now, the ability to take this asset called Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and change future generations, totally future generations. They can argue all day long. You know, I thought about this the other night. When we were in Nashville at Bitcoin conference, and regardless of your political beliefs, it's got to do. But when I heard Trump say, if I become president, I will create a Bitcoin reserve for this country, I knew at that moment that if he became president and he did what he said he was going to do, it would open the doorway. What's fascinating to me is you still got people that don't believe it's happening, don't believe it's going to be adoptable. I mean, we just bought a credit union, or we didn't. Ben bought a credit union down in El Salvador, and El Salvador was the first country in the world to ever use Bitcoin as a form of currency.
Legal currency, legal tender. Yep.
Legal tender.
Literally last week, that's been the 4-year mark of it. That's when I knew like changes were happening. So 4 years ago, but like last year when Trump said it at the convention, I just knew like this is progressing even further and faster now.
So if,
like
you guys have done any traveling, especially in Caribbean country or somewhere like, or Latin countries down there, some of these not big, like Panama is a great place and stuff like that, but some of these outskirts places like El Salvador used to be a rough place. You literally can be driving down the road now and see a guy by the road selling coconuts, and you get out and you buy his coconut. You don't pay him with their fiat currency anymore. He has a little
phone with a wallet on it.
Phone with a wallet. You're paying this guy in Bitcoin. That's what's happening right now. So as far as the United States, we're way behind what the rest of these countries are.
We're starting. We got Steak and Shake and Sheets now. So two companies just this year.
Are y'all
accepting Bitcoin.
Everybody aware of Steak and Shake and Sheets as far as what they're doing? And I've known Sheets for years because I used to travel. I mean, I still have to read it to believe that Sheets between the hours of, I think it's 5 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull up there and you can fill up your car with gas for $72. And if you pay with Bitcoin, you pay half. So this is where we're going. And the reason to do it, they see the need. That's how they're accumulating their Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is so scarce, they figure out a way they can start accumulating Bitcoin.
It's also cheaper. They're getting their money faster. They don't have to wait for the Visa or MasterCard rails to get that money in 3 or 4 business days. Using Bitcoin's Lightning Network, they get it instantaneously. So it's fast transactions, and it's also saving them on fees.
Any questions? I would love to entertain any questions. It would help people online. Any questions online that we can answer?
I'm not sure if you can answer it. The question was, how do I apply for a Bitcoin mortgage for my home?
A Bitcoin merge.
Yeah, so that's a call in when Holly's saying. Yeah, so
Call
yeah.
Bitcoin Benz.
Yep, call that number 941-413-8080. That one is what we just
Good
got
answer. I will tell you this. The plans of the bank, the credit union will be converted over to a bank. And when that happens, and this takes a long time for a credit union to move over to a bank, we will be the first bank in the world if we get there ahead of time that's totally backed by Bitcoin. So you'll be making your loans in Bitcoin. And you say, what does text mean? What does that mean?
Text us. Yeah, text us on the cell phone
Text us on the
number.
cell phone, please, guys. God's sakes, don't call us. Text us. First of all, we can't answer your questions. We have to verify a whole lot of stuff that you're a member, you're covered under the PMA, that you are who you say you are, and you're not trying to.
Yeah, that is the process, guys. So those of you online listening, watching this re-recording, I know we have lots of programs to offer, from our home to hodl we're discussing now, our bulk Bitcoin purchases, our loans for Bitcoin, our beef initiative. It's like we have a process. Like, we're a private membership association, and there's some things we can and cannot say to you unless you're a member too of that PMA. So when we said when you call, we just can't answer because we got to verify again that you're an actual member, and then we can direct you to the right person. So like for home to hodl, we're going to be directing you to Holly after we verified you're a member. If it's a bulk purchase, we'll send you to Jody. So there's a process in this for being a part of these programs.
So any more questions online? We have any questions? Another question?
Nothing online.
Any questions for the audience? Yes, ma'am. Hold on one second.
So do you have a story for us where someone used the program and kind of give us a real life example of what the program does and offers us?
No, we can't use names, but yes. Do you like to?
I'm just going to say that as an independent mortgage broker, my license is strictly for mortgages. And so that's all I do is the mortgage. And then I just pass it off to these guys. I don't have any kind of advice or.
Okay, yes.
So, yeah,
yeah,
you
so-
mean a program where I did a loan for somebody?
Let me put it
Is
this
that
way.
what you said?
Okay, have you done any loans for our members and they decided to deploy that money into Bitcoin mining or everything else?
I'm sure they have, but
Okay, cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, she stays, listen.
Yeah.
She
I
could
just
care
stay
less.
completely.
She could care less if you took a loan and bought a Lamborghini. That's not her deal. She can't tell you. We could care less whether you took a loan and bought a Lamborghini. All we can say is, here's the ability to take a loan. Here's an option. You have to come to us and say, I'm a member and tell me about these programs. How will they benefit me?
That's true.
But
So
I
I
will
complete the loan.
You
And
can place a
then
loan, but
since
I
they're
can
members,
give
they
you-
know all the other options that are available. And, some people tell me what they're going to do. I'm taking care of parents and I just listen, and I don't advise. I'm not a financial advisor. So. I
But
just
you
do-
being a member, we won't do it openly, but you being a member, if you want to talk to me about that, I can give you some complete details on that. Okay? Because not everybody in here is a member, and even though we did get them signed with PMA. Yes, sir.
So I've been thinking a lot about getting rid of my mortgage on the house because of the wind insurance, which is $5,500 a year, which I think is out of control, and I don't really think they're going to cover me anyway if I have a loss. So for that reason, I think that it's really annoying to have to make these payments, once a month anyway. So my thinking was if I had enough Bitcoin to pay off the loan using a Bitcoin collateralized loan, which would be, as I understand, 50% loan to ratio, LTV. So you'd need twice your amount of the outstanding mortgage amount. But I could wipe out my mortgage. If Bitcoin's going up at 50%, in a year or 2 years, I'll have my Bitcoin back, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
And I don't know where you learn that strategy, but it's exactly what we're showing people. You can go up to 70% LTV on your Bitcoin. You never lose the ownership of your Bitcoin. And you use that to pay your mortgage off.
So literally in a year or two, the loan's paid off if Bitcoin continues at 50%, which we all think that it will. Then the other side of the coin was, I wanted to make sure I understood this. You're saying that literally the bank could call you up one day and say, the value of your house is down. Your LTV is off. So we're going to foreclose, or you have to pay us money, or what happens?
Let's be real clear. What happened to me happened to a lot of people. So the bank has the ability on a commercial loan.
It's a commercial loan.
It's a
He's not
commercial-
talking about
not
residential.
residential. They have the ability to call a class of loans. I didn't know what that was. But basically, if they call a class of loans within a state, I mean, they don't, hey, we're calling you loan, no, they don't say that. They're like, you've got so many days to cure this loan to where we need it to be. If you don't, we don't want the loan anymore. You got to go find it. And then they give you 6 months. But at that point in 2006, 7, 8, you couldn't get a loan anyhow. So it didn't matter. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Once it started, it rolled on. So no, I want to make sure you're clear with a residential piece of real estate. Let's just say the house is worth $1 million a day and you owe 500 and the value of the house drops to 400. They can't do anything about it as long as you do what you want to do with your loan. But that's what I'm saying. What your point was, right now, if you have equity, you can do what you're talking about doing, use Bitcoin against it, or you can use money to buy Bitcoin and then pay the loan off. I mean, it's all kinds of strategies.
If it was commercial specifically, then your advice would be take the maximum amount of equity on, leverage yourself to the max. And then what happens if the market falls apart?
You negotiate with the bank because they need the money back.
Well, they foreclose on the property for one. You declare bankruptcy, which
Let me tell you what I can tell you without a doubt. If you owe $1 million on a piece of property, it's $500,000. Come down. But you got that liquidity. The bank doesn't want your property back. Okay, people think the bank wants your property. They don't. So that'll be you and I can have a discussion on my personal opinion about that.
I just thought that when we had that mortgage crisis in 2008, the banks swooped in, grabbed all the houses, foreclosed on everybody's house. Now BlackRock owns all the houses and they rent them.
I was going to say that, and you and I have that discussion later about BlackRock. I was all involved in not BlackRock, but that whole minutia stuff. I started to say something about stuff. Yeah. So I don't think we can ever be there again. I don't think that we'll ever be there again. I hope to God we're never there again.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Yeah.
But there will be
I
some
think
else.
what your situation was completely different than what he's
Yes.
talking about.
We're
'cause
talking about commercial.
Two different things.
It wasn't commercial property. It was residential property that was bought with commercial money.
Did you have an LLC for your company?
Yep.
And they
Doesn't
still
matter.
did that.
I'll tell you about that later.
Interesting. Okay.
It was very interesting what
Thank you
happened.
for that.
Didn't happen just to me, happened to everybody that was playing in that game.
Another question.
Can you explain again the equity about how if you have like that blue line, it's way up there, and then you were saying something about it's only going to be for a period of time because the banks don't want you to have the equity. Can you explain that picture again?
So if you look at this line, I'll go right here, 2002, 2004, 2006, 2008. This is where we were getting into trouble. Equities were getting higher. The real estate values were kind of peaking out here. And then all of a sudden you had the compression of real estate equity or real estate values, or what were owed versus real estate equities. What has happened since then is the values of homes have skyrocketed. The values have skyrocketed. The amounts owed in homes, unless you took a mortgage, it's gone up predictably here. But right now in 2020 or 2025, let's say the value of this house is owed on this house is $350,000. That person may have, Holly, $700,000 worth of equity. It's just crazy. It could be any amount of money. So when you look at the value of a home versus the equity in a home right now, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, how could you buy a house on Siesta Key 10 years ago or 12 years ago for $200,000 and that same house sitting on the canal has the equity in it of $1.5 million? Doesn't make any sense. So I don't say we're gonna have a mortgage collapse, but I can tell you something, the banks are not going to be exposed to this for much longer. The difference in what they're exposed to, just not going to be. Wouldn't make sense.
Wait till you get the mic. We want the people online to hear your question.
So my follow-up question would be is, how does that equity end up growing so much? I guess I don't know how actually
How did
equity
it-
works.
How did it grow up? How did the equity grow?
So high, you know, how does that work?
Here's what
Maybe
happened
I
here,
need to
'cause I was here. I
ChatGPT
could-
this.
No, I can tell you what happened here. So when we moved down here, you could buy a house for $250,000, $300,000 all around here. People in some other states were ready to get out of those states. So there were people in, because I sold them houses. There were people in New York that sold their houses for $2 million, in California, $3 million. And when they came here, they saw a house for $500,000 or $600,000 that was equal in terms of the type of house they had. They didn't even negotiate. There was no, I mean, you could put a house on the market for $500,000 and 3 days later, it was bid up to $750,000. So the perceived equity, every time a house sells, what's the comp ratio? When you do a home comparable in a neighborhood, what's the three house? You have three comparables now y'all have to use. So they look at it, look at 3 year comparables, and they're like, well, oh, wait a minute, the house next door sold for $750,000. So next time you go to sell your house 2 weeks later, 2 months later, somebody says, well, the house is $750,000. I'll give you $900 for your house. It was just, that's what we got into right now. So it was perceived equity.
And I'm just saying, in this immediate area, I mean, what really happened was COVID and people from up north,
Yep.
you know, so it's supply and demand is what drove the price
Yep.
through the roof. Because everybody up north wanted to get out of their house and they were just stuck there. And you know, the kids are going through life, and it's normal when you have kids and you're going through life and you live up north, but when it all stopped, they're all stuck in the house and everybody's like, I got to get out of here. My kids got to get out of the house. So a lot of people moved to Florida, especially this area with kids. And I mean, I wouldn't say just this area, but a lot of people moved here. And that's when there wasn't enough supply in the housing market and people were just overbidding and didn't care. They didn't care what they were offering. They were
You're right.
offering crazy prices.
You're exactly right. So you think about
Mhm.
how many have lived here for at least 10 years? Okay, most of you. When I moved to Siesta Key, when the season was over with, when the season got finished, everybody went home. I mean, you didn't have a problem at a restaurant. I mean, they were begging you to come in. I remember it just, man, you could go in the restaurant, walk in, there was nobody there during the season. During and after COVID, people came down here, they didn't leave, and they started inviting their friends down here. It was absolutely a frenzy.
And I think the other thing too is our job market has become a lot stronger. So now that we have a lot of parents here, because their adult kids with children can find jobs here because our job market is stronger and healthcare is our like #1 industry here. So that is a huge demand and people can now move here and be by their grandparents and have more of a family as opposed to their kids and their family being wherever in the country and mom and dad retired in Florida. So I think that has made a huge factor, been a huge factor as well.
To answer her question even more to the point, people were in bidding wars in living rooms in this area. You'd have 2 or 3 people show up at an open house and they were standing right there in the living room bidding against each other.
It
That
was-
drove it up. And all those people that came down from up north, they weren't going to a mortgage company. They were paying cash.
Right. Exactly right. There was a period of time there where it was everybody and their brother, if they could breathe on them, fog up a mirror, they were getting a real estate license.
Hey, kid, Steve, forgive my ignorance, but I'm looking up here at HOM. deal. Is that what I think it said?
Huddle, home to huddle. Huddle is hold on for dear life. That was just the program.
Is it?
Exactly, you got it.
So, it's, for pending loan against the mortgage, using hold on for dear life. But I do get it because I have crypto and I'm holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
That's what there is to it. Yeah.
Take your home
Yeah.
to huddle.
Yeah, I was
Bitcoin
one
for
of
dear
the
life.
fortunate ones. We bought in 19.
Here.
I bought it. I bought here in 19. We just bought another place here now, but we bought a condo in 19 at about $1.70, and it's right now it's worth about $270. I'm like, but we live there, so it doesn't matter, like you
Right.
said. But
Doesn't
now that
matter.
I have the other place, I'm like, oh, we have equity.
Right.
So now I got something to think about. Thank
Right.
you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Anything online?
Nothing online, guys. Oh, there's another one.
So a couple of years ago, back in 19, when I bought my house, I guess 2 years later, interest rates were still low. I wanted to try and get a lower interest rate. So I looked into doing an equity mortgage. Oh, no, it was a refi to get a lower rate. They wanted something like $9,000 just to initiate that loan. Like I had to pay $9,000. So my question is, when you do an equity mortgage, which is different, is there a fee?
Yeah, of course, there's fees that we have to pay all the third parties that are involved. So they're not as great as a refinance for, we have a home equity line of credit, which everybody refers to as a HELOC, right? And then we have a HE loan, which is a home equity loan. And then the difference between the two of those is the home equity loan is you fund the entire loan amount at the closing. It goes straight to whatever bank you direct the title company to send it to. And then you have a fixed rate for a fixed term, and then the same payment for the next 20 or 30 years, whatever you select. That's a home equity loan. Now, the home equity line of credit, everybody's kind of familiar with it, works like a credit card. It's an adjustable rate. You can have a draw period of your choice of 3 to 5 years. And then you can pick your term for like 20 or 30 years. And then your payment adjusts because the rate fluctuates and your balance can fluctuate up and down, depending on how much of it you utilize.
Can the bank, the lender, can they suck the equity down? Could they, and if you don't take a loan against, say I got a HELOC for,
No, so if the term states this is your home equity line of credit, it's for 30 years. You have a 5-year draw period, which means you can take or pay off your loan for the next 5 years. And it's for $150,000. That's what it is. They can't change it.
so, but after 5 years, if you don't do something with it.
After 5 years, you just have to pay the balance.
Got it.
I mean, you can take the rest of the term to pay the balance monthly, or you can pay it off however you would like to.
So is there a prepayment penalty?
Not on those.
Is there a fee for initiating that loan upfront?
There's not, I don't know what you mean by upfront. If you're paying for the application, is that what you mean?
Uh,
Or closing costs
well, when I tried to do the refi, they wanted $9,000.
for the closing costs?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
points-
so
points.
in Florida, it's probably about, I don't know what the loan amount was. Everything goes off the loan amount for the cost, but the title company fees are pretty expensive in Florida. Yeah, so that was probably about $3,000. And then did you escrow your payments? Your taxes and insurance, did you escrow that with your refinance?
I think so.
Yeah, and see, that adds into it too, because you're adding reserves, which isn't really cost. Those are your payments for your future, so your future payments. And then there are costs for the loan, the origination. But every person and situation is different. And, you can pay for a buy down, you can pay for points, you can do all kinds of different things. And some of it does cost you money, but it just really I have to look at the paper.
Okay.
If you
I was-
get a loan estimate.
Just
and-
curious.
Yeah,
So it sounds
yes,
like
there are costs.
you do a HELOC, buy a bunch of Bitcoin, wait for the Bitcoin to go up in price for a couple of years. Then you take a loan against your Bitcoin and pay off the HELOC.
She can't answer
I
that.
don't do anything with Bitcoin, just the loans.
She can't answer. I'll talk to you about that. That's a one-off, but she can't answer anything about what to do with your money. Okay. Any more questions? What time is it, by the way?
It is 7:35 right now.
Okay, any more questions?
I don't think we can talk about this, but someone's asking if you can talk about the loans to buy Bitcoin program.
Loans to buy Bitcoin program.
Probably to buy for a loan to be able to use
Okay,
that
we will answer that in a minute, but I want to make sure we don't have any more questions.
to
Respectful
Holly.
your-
Yeah.
To Holly, respectful for Holly's time.
This might be off topic, but I wanted to ask questions about XRP.
That's off topic.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later. And listen, we're not Bitcoin maximalists.
Maxis.
We're not Bitcoin maxis because I
I
have
kind of
stuff.
became one since being here, but I do still like all other altcoins as well.
Yep.
But I started just noticing how the adoption's going around the world. It's like going, okay, this is really, really legit now. It's like, so I'm loving it even more, but I still understand that Bitcoin can't do it all because some coins may have different utilities, whether it's going to be AI, video streaming, decentralized exchanges, gaming. So it's like, there's still utility for other cryptocurrencies out there, but I do favor Bitcoin a little bit more now compared to my alts.
But I was just gonna say before I finished my loan portion of the program, rates are really crazy. I think they're crazy low. Just because when I started in this industry, they were 11% and that was like nothing. It was pretty normal. I'm sure most of you have seen the savings and loan era. We went through 16, 18%. It's never a bad time to buy a house. Never, I don't ever think the rates are too high. I know that just makes your payment higher, but right now it's just more people than ever are refinancing because the rates are really good right now. So
I think we all got accustomed to that extremely low interest rate, which was not sustainable.
I wasn't even working during that.
Okay, so yeah, okay, cool.
I've never worked closed mortgages when the market is just crazy, simple, easy.
Okay, cool.
Never. But anyways, the last thing I'm going to say is if your loan is in Florida and you want to get something done, we can get it done really fast.
Well, and not only in Florida, you can do stuff all over.
I can.
Because yes.
Yeah, I have business partners in other states, and I'm just saying though, in Florida,
Got you.
it goes
I
really
just want to
fast.
know we have members here that live here. We have members that live outside of here. So you've done a lot of things for those members outside of here.
Right. I mean, because people own properties in multiple states. So I might be talking to somebody in Arkansas and they have a property in Pennsylvania they want to lien or mortgage, and then they're buying another house in Florida. So I mean, it doesn't really matter what state or where you are. I don't care as long as you can get to the notary and
Make it happen.
get it closed. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Philip. I just joined the club today.
Wonderful.
Welcome.
and
Welcome.
I've been hearing Bitcoin Ben talk about unsecured loans, which part of the loan can get paid
Yep,
off
yep. So
by the mining aspect.
there's a lot of things. So give us a second. We'll address that. Any more questions for Holly online or here? And Holly, thanks so much. Thank you so much for taking time tonight.
Thank you guys.
And she's got cards for you. Appreciate it. Do you want to end this recording because it was specifically for her?
Sure. Yeah.
If y'all want to take a quick break, I don't need to. We're going to take a quick break.
We're just ending the recording, guys, for those online, Scott and Deb, but the Zoom still links to continue going until the very, very end.
Yeah.